Close your eyes, babe.
Hello! Good day sa inyong tanan, and welcome to Philippine History Show. Ako si Dianne FABELA, and we will be talking about our very own national hero, Jose Rizal. But no, dili nato istoryahan na yung biography, dili pod nato istoryahan ng nolimitang hero or el filibusterismo. But we will be talking about the Philippines a century hence. So what is it exactly? Well, it is an essay written by Rizal himself and published in La Solidaridad, Madrid, Spain, back in September 30, 1889 to February 1, 1890. So it is about Rizal's attempt to predict what would happen to the Philippines after 100 years. It was his effort to remind Spain of what would happen to Filipinos and the country itself after the French Revolution. Rizal was actually influenced by Fedor Hagor's book, Travels in the Philippines when he was young. So kato nga book talk about the downfall of the Spanish rule in the Philippines and the coming of America sa country. So Rizal was driven to write about this because he believed na the Philippines would progress in the future. The essay contains 4 chapters, and we will try to explain each one of them. So, what are you waiting for? Let us talk about chapter 1. We have Timothy Emata. Tim, are you there?
Hi Dianne! So hey guys, magsurya ta karon sa first chapter sa essay ni Rizal. So sa iyang first chapter, gi-reveal ni Rizal ang miseries and misfortunes nga naagian sa Filipino people during the last 3 centuries of the Spanish rule. So including atong naagian nila kay, first, there was rampant poverty across the land. Then second, their farmlands were left to wither. Then third, their family as a unit of society was neglected. Fourth, na a gradual disappearance of the native Philippine culture. Then lastly, there was severe oppressions towards the Filipino inhabitants. So because of this, the Filipinos started losing hope in their past, their heritage became doubtful of their present lifestyle, and eventually they lost hope in the future and the preservation of the race. But despite Ani, the spirit of the Filipino people never wavered, so they didn't stop until they achieved humanity and justice. So this awakened their hearts and opened their minds that such oppression made by the foreign colonizers must never be tolerated. So with that, Rizal asked 3 questions. So ang first question is, will the Philippines continue to be a Spanish colony? And if so, what kind of colony? So ang second question is, what kind of sacrifices would they have to make? Then lastly, would they be separated from the mother country to live independently and then fall to the hands of other nations? Or should they ally themselves with other neighboring powers? So these questions were formulated and answered by Rizal himself that served as a guide for the country's future 100 years later. So that's it for chapter 1. Back to you, Dianne.
Alright! Thank you, Tim, for that discussion. And now, mas na-enlighten na ta about Rizal's essay. So, mag-move on na ta to chapter 2. So, Neil, pasok!
Hi Dianne! So sa atong discussion sa chapter 2, we will focus on the answers of Rizal and towards the questions, what will become of the Philippines within a century? And will they continue to be a Spanish colony? Let's find out. So Rizal first explained whether the Philippines is in the same condition from 3 centuries ago. He based this on a viewpoint of each entity, the Spaniards, the friars, and the native Filipino. He discussed that for the liberal Spaniards, their condition remains the same and that they have not advanced. For the friars and followers, the Filipino people have redeemed from their savagery, which means that they did indeed progress. For the Filipinos, on the other hand, their ethics and customs have decayed and retrograded. This was because for 3 centuries, the Spanish took hold of the Philippines and everyone obeyed them, giving up their liberty and independence. So due to the continuous life of oppression of the Filipino natives under the Spanish government, their hearts and minds changed drastically. Their desire for change in their lives drove them to move towards progress that even Spain couldn't prevent it, even if they went through a lot of oppression and challenges. Rizal speculated that if these acts continued, the Philippines would remain under the Spanish domination, but with more law and greater liberty. Or they will become independent after all their sacrifices that they will make. So that was it for chapter 2. Back to you, Dianne.
Thank you, Neil, for that detailed discussion. Wow, kay nun you go kung unsa kalisod ang giagian sa atong fellow Filipinos back then. We appreciate and thank them kay kung wala sila, we wouldn't be the country that we are today. So moving on, we have Angel for chapter 3. Okay, daghang salamat Angel for your explanation sa third chapter. Bitaw, I can say that Rizal has some good points about the consequences na mahitabo kung mag-implement ang Spanish government of new laws. So, para sa fourth chapter, we have Anne para maghatag sa atong insight about that. Anne?
Yes, hello Dianne. So guys, naanata karon sa last chapter ni Rizal's essay. So gilista ni Rizal o gidiscuss ang possible 3 scenarios na mahappen sa ato ang country, which is ang Philippines. So first is the assimilation of the Philippines into Spain by becoming a province and having to enjoy the full rights and privileges that Spaniards had. And Rizal pointed out that it would be only possible if there will be no unjust treatments and oppressions towards Filipinos. Second is that the Spanish colony will be destroyed and many Filipinos would exterminated. Rizal said that the Spanish colony would be useless without any citizens, and the death of many Filipinos will require a sacrifice of thousands of Spanish soldiers in which Spain cannot afford to do. And third is the elimination of Spanish occupation and secures its independence. But then again, mahappen ang revolution kung ang Spain dili ma-implement ang necessary reforms para sa colony. So at the end of the essay, na-speculate ni Rizal na kung ma-achieve sa Pilipinas ang ilang independence, dili sila mabelong sa Germany, England, France, Holland, and Japan since busy sila og colonize sa Africa and protect sa ilang own internal affairs. Gisuggest ni Rizal nga ang possibility of American Republic taking foreign control in Asia Pacific, but before na ma-happen, kailangan i-open ang Panama Canal in which European countries would not allow to happen. So diha nag-end ang essay ni Rizal. Back to you, Dianne.
Wow, grabe! Daghan kay kog natun-an sa essay ni Rizal. Kamupod guys! I hope so too. Kay bisag nahitabo na ni from the past, we can still use this from today's events. Kay especially, di ba, we can all learn from the past. So, for the last part of the program, mang-ambush interview ta sa mga tao and see what they can answer when we ask them, how do you see the Philippines 100 years from now? So there you have it, guys. I hope that you were able to understand more on Rizal's essay and about our history pod. So till next time mga kamags, kita kits! Ako day si Dianne FABELA and you are watching the Philippine History Show. Good day!
Don't be shy, I can be your fool.